Yeah, sorry. Yeah, as I said at the start, this film's fucked. But in a
Yep.
fascinating way. In a fascinating way. Yeah.
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 But I've prepped a lot. I got a lot of notes and yeah, detailed walkthrough. Definitely ready to go. And I've watched it in
Yeah.
detail
Yeah.
like three
Oh my
times this
God.
week. Three times this week.
Jesus.
Children of the popcorn. I'm fine, which is worrying how fine I am. I don't know what this is going to do to my psychological
Yeah.
development, Dorian.
Uh, it's probably too late.
I think it is too late.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. You've watched it this week?
Yes.
Yeah, did you watch any of the others?
I
Just out of
started watching the
curiosity.
third one. Yeah, I started watching the third one, and then I realized that I wasn't in the mood because I forgot like just how over the
Ah,
top Dita Lisa is in it. And I'm like, I'm
oh,
not in the mood for this energy
wild.
right now. Oh my
Fucking
God. I
so
completely
wild.
forgot that he was like that in the movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You think he's over the top in the first one.
Mm.
That's him being
Yeah. Oh my
refrained and
God. Yeah.
subtle. Yeah, yeah. The third one I watched it last night. It's fucked in
Mm.
a completely different
Yeah.
way. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun though. It's just so, yeah, it is
Mm.
still fun. I still liked it halfway
Yeah.
through. So yeah, I still like this.
Yeah.
This piece of shit
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
because it's an act of self-hatred, the whole film
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
To say fuck you to his
Yeah.
audience. Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, we'll get
I
into
do
that.
like that. Yeah, I like that all three movies tonally are very, very different. Like
Hmm.
they're all
Hmm.
pretty much completely different movies. The only like
Hmm.
consistent thing is the human centipede concept. And for every single one, the movies that came before them exist as movies within that film, which I
Hmm.
think makes it work for them being tonally very different movies. But I
You're
think
right.
that also,
As
yeah,
a kind of
yeah,
linking type
mm, yeah,
device to do. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's true.
And I think, yeah,
That's
I
true.
think that
That's cool.
when the first one came out, and so that was the only one that existed at the time, the kind of stuff that's in the second movie is what everyone assumed would be
Okay.
what that first movie is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it
Yeah.
would be like that kind of stuff, and it's not. Um,
Hmm.
but the
Hmm.
second one, if you want to see that kind of content, that's all in the second movie.
Hmm. Hmm. Um, because what you're alluding to there, Dorian, just to flesh that out a bit, with its releasing in the United States, the premiere at Fantastic Fest, Fantastic Fest, heard of it?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one, children. It's a good one, children. The popcorn there to check out. It's a great genre fest. As far as I've seen, I've never gone. Yeah, it's in Austin, Texas. Um, and came out September 2011. The Human Centipede 2, Tom Six, Children of the Popcorn. Welcome back to the iceberg. Yes, Dorian's back. Welcome back, Dorian. Yeah, we're doing the second one. We're on tier three. It's happening. This is serious. There's no more,
Yeah.
yada yada. All the warnings and stuff have done. We've done that, and this is where we're getting into the classic, the iconic, as you like to say, Dorian, the iconic extreme cinema films. Yeah,
Yeah.
on this
Yeah.
tier.
Yeah.
Uh, you've got the Rushmore ones. We have
Mm.
Salo, we have Cannibal Holocaust, we have Serbian film, and we have Human Centipede 2. That's in the top 10.
Yep.
This is in the top
Yep.
10.
There's also martyrs, basically everything that's like,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, if you're, yeah, if you're going to talk about movies that have that kind of extreme content or whatever, those are the ones that first get mentioned.
Hmm.
And yeah, so it's like if you're into that kind of stuff and you haven't seen all of those, then like you need to watch them because
Yeah,
they're like the ones that people talk about. They're the ones that people, they're the
yeah,
most well-known ones.
they are. They are. If you are At this stage, if you're with us as well, you're obviously the
Mm.
type of people who are committed to horror. Yeah. Maybe you're
Yeah.
curious about, what these films actually are like and whether or not
Mm.
you want to go see them. Yes, we're treading the waters for you. We're diving into the depths for you. Yeah. Um, yeah. So you know what these films are, and
Mm.
we're going to do this work for you. And we've done it with Human Centipede 2. Um, Before we go into all of that, let's just go back to do it our usual way with structure. Yeah, Human Centipede 2. What's your history? How do you feel about
Oh.
this one? Hmm?
Um, yeah, I mean, so I watched all the Human Centipedes one after another, so essentially the same kind of general stuff for the first one in terms of when I got around to watching it and all that kind of
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, like this is where the fucked up stuff is
Yes.
in this
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
and of the three. And it's violent and nasty and gross
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
yet it's still fun. And it's
Hmm.
like in the
Hmm.
kind of way that makes you think, why am I enjoying this right now? I know that I shouldn't be, and yet here I am.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it's not, in my opinion, like I said, tonally very, very different to the first one. I personally prefer the first one to the second one, but I do still really appreciate how fucked up this one is in terms of, yeah, because it is such a change in tone. It's a really nice
Yeah.
contrast, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But why? Hmm. What is it about the fucked up nature of it?
Oh,
What aspects? Yeah,
yeah,
well, I mean, you don't have to go into
yeah.
detail
I don't
now
know.
because we'll go into it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
because there's great attention to detail. There's a great
Yeah.
methodical nature to
Mm,
this. There's a great churning, arriving, a dementedness.
yeah, I
Um,
think that's why it feels so much more depraved, I guess,
it's
because of that
depraved.
tone and
Depraved
all that
is
other kind
the
of stuff.
word for this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I wonder if it
Um,
was in color, in full color, I wonder what
mm,
kind of impact that would have had on how the overall movie like just comes across. Because the only color in this movie is brown. Everything else
yeah,
is
it
black and
is.
white.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Um, yeah. How did you watch this film?
Um,
Where?
through through f.movies.com.
So you watched the unrated,
It would have been,
so
yeah.
uncut, uncensored,
Mm,
the uncut version, yeah. So
yeah.
I watched both.
Mm.
I
What's the
watched it.
difference?
The barbed wire for one. That's the big one.
Oh,
There's no barbed wire in the cut version.
really? Okay, okay, that
Yeah.
explains a lot because
Hmm.
in that case, the first time I watched it, I must have watched the regular version because when I watched it this
Hmm.
time, I'm like, I don't remember
Hmm.
that. That's something that I would have
Yeah.
remembered.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Um, okay, spoilers. Yeah, because we're going to jump around as we do.
Mm,
Yes. Okay, what about in the first version that you watched?
mm,
Because I watched the uncut one
mm.
twice and the
Yeah,
uncut one the first time round. I didn't go back to check the uncut one first to check the baby's
mm,
head in the car on
yeah,
the pedal.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
Was that
yeah.
crushed in the cut one in the first viewing of it
I
that you saw? You know what I mean?
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember
Okay.
because yeah, I don't remember because
No, I'm not
also
sure.
when I
Yeah.
before
Okay.
I watched this movie, I read like a overview of it, and so
Hmm.
I knew that that was what happened.
Hmm.
So if it was in it or not, like I knew that that was what happened at the very least, but I can't remember.
Because I got a bit of censorship information here now. I may
Mm,
as well touch on since we're here,
yeah.
pertaining to Australia. In May 2011, the uncut film was originally granted an R18 plus classification by the Australian Classification Board. It was later overruled by the Minister of blah, blah, blah. Okay, we don't need to read all that, cut all that. Okay, so it was banned by the powers that be in 2011. Several groups and individuals, including Family Voice Australia, Collective Shout, and Cardinal George Pell, the Archbishop of Sydney. I don't know if I should be mentioning him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might just cut him out just because. Yeah, cut.
Mm.
Welcome the decision. Monster Pictures, the Australian distributor of the film, criticised the decision and announced their intention to re-edit and resubmit the film for review. Yay, Monster Pictures. Shout out. On 13th of December 2011, the ACB classified a modified version of the film at R18 plus for high impact themes, violence, and sexual violence. Monster Pictures expressed their delight and clarified that 30 seconds of the film had been modified. They concluded that this decision highlights the absurdity of Classification Review Board's decision to ban the film in the first place. That's 30 seconds would have been the barbed wire, because it takes about that to expose it, in that shot.
Yeah.
It's roughly around that time, and then take that out. This film is a lot if you haven't seen it. Yes, as I stated at the start of this is tier 3. We are jumping straight in with Human Centipede. 2, if you haven't listened to our Human Centipede one, go back and listen to it. And also go see it, I think, as well, because you kind of really have to get this. Yeah. To kind of justify this movie in any way.
Yeah. And the first one of the 3 is the most accessible. Like,
yes,
it's
absolutely.
not as in terms of like the content in it and the way it's, like as a film and all that, like, it's it's the most accessible of the 3.
What did he say, Mr. Tom Six, at the start? I'm trying to find where it said the Fantastic Fest release. It got a Fantastic Fest in Texas. And they had the films distributed IFC Films gave audience excuse me. I can't have this horrible kind of voice on the mic anymore. In terms of it being congested sounding.
Yeah.
Now, the film's distributor, IFC Films, gave audience members complimentary bath bags at the screenings and stationed an ambulance outside the theatre as a gimmick. Yeah, thought that's fun. However, one audience member became so physically ill during the premiere that paramedics had to assist her out. Yeah. And that is a legitimate one of these. Yeah, this isn't just marketing their children. Yeah.
And I can think of a few scenes where it might have been,
take your
end
pick.
cause.
Take your pick.
It was just kind of
Act
probably
2.
a gradual build up and then one final moment tipping them over the edge.
Anywhere in the second half, I think. I saw influences of Eraserhead and Bad Boy Bubby in this when I was watching it. Bad Boy Bubby, you've got
those.
Bad Boy Bubby, you've got the family situation at home.
Definitely.
It's that claustrophobic, enclosed, devoid of any humanity, empathy, bad sex stuff. And then Razorhead, there's also this kind of high elevated, shrieking kind of gross black and white intensity to the whole thing, and this kind of repetition, this cycle to it. I think this movie has a cycle to it that is shown in the beginning and end shot, the exterior shot into his office. But the camera has moved forward, and I think that's highly intentional at the end, but I'll explain that when I get to the end. I'll just write that down. Camera moved forward at end, so I don't forget. Because there's the whole, oh, was it all in his head? Was it a dream?
Yeah.
That's an argument out there that was, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Um, I like that it's ambiguous. I like that ambiguity.
Absolutely, so do
Um,
I.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what like yeah.
Oh, fuck it, I'll explain it now. It's not that deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Camera moving forward, I think it's just what is showing there,
Mm,
that the cycle is about to start again, but it's more
mm.
concentrated, it's more intensified, it's more
Oh, yeah.
focused. Yeah.
Yeah.
Martin knows what he is doing more, and he's got
Yeah.
experience now, and he's going to do
Mm,
it again. Yeah.
yeah.
This is
Mm,
just, yeah, the snake eating its own tail. I
yeah.
think is what is with Martin,
Mm,
because this is a nightmare escape. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
because it does suggest a losing of
Mm,
a semblance of reality. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's just my little theory. That's just my
Yeah.
little theory.
Yeah.
Rather than because it's got no. Tom Six is a provocateur. He's a little bit of an asshole, but but I don't think he's not simple. He's not a
Mm,
simple filmmaker. No.
yeah.
Um, the baby sounds fucked with my head.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
The prosthetics on Mother's head were incredible. What did you think
Yeah,
in
that was
terms of the
so
prosthetic
good.
work in
Yeah, that
this
was so
movie
good.
overall, Dorian, being,
Mm,
the artist in that
yeah.
sense, in that regard, definitely.
Yeah, they were good. I mean, obviously, because it's in black and white, like,
Hmm.
um, if it was, seeing it in color, then, you know, that impacts how it looks on screen. But, how it looks in film,
Hmm.
like, it looks fucking gnarly and it's great because you don't have that, like, intense, visceral, blood red color and all the blood and gore and all that kind of stuff in color. And yet it still looks absolutely like intense and so violent, and it's just all in black and white.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the special effects artist behind that is Dan Martin from 13
Mm,
Finger Effects. He has worked on Infinity Pool, Color Out of Space, Sensor, Lords of Chaos, Stop Fucking Motion. Yeah. This guy's quite
yeah.
legendary in terms of, indie
Yeah.
underground horror in terms of what he's
Mm,
worked on. Definitely. So definitely
yeah.
check them out there, Children of the Popcorn. Yeah, I'll link it up on the page. Dan Martin linkage. Because he's definitely worth checking out. Because I
Yeah.
really liked it. And in combination, in sync with the sound design in this movie.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah. The sound design is absolutely incredible because I've listened to it 3 times
Mm,
intensely on these headphones here. They're pretty good headphones, so I hear
mm,
it all. And
yeah.
everything down to the churning sound of the centipede when it's
Mm,
accompanied by the distorted industrial bells that Martin keeps hearing in his head, then is sometimes in the environment,
yeah.
when he's tripping out. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Um, and that is by. Now, there's a whole bunch of people who have worked on the sound effects. There's a lot of
Mm,
work that has been done on the sound effects. You've got about 20 people, but there is this chap here who is on Wikipedia, credited for the music score. He is a
mm,
composer, music producer, and film producer. Works include an ethereal mixture of live sonic experimentation with grandiose classical motifs and alternative percussion. His name is James Edwin Barker. I'm going to surmise and put forward that he is the one responsible for the way that it
mm,
sounds and it affects. Yeah. What did you
yeah.
think of the sound in this movie?
Yeah, like it was well done. When he smashes in
Mm.
his mum's head, I just
Mm.
had
Jesus
to take
Christ.
a
Yeah.
moment to really appreciate the Foley. The
Hmm.
Foley of like that sound of like that just like wet crunching noise. It was
Hmm.
so good.
Hmm. No, really inventive, eh? Absolutely. Would have been an
Yeah.
interesting Foley session. Um, okay, yeah, Yenny was the most unique final girl ever. I think that was just me
Yeah.
late at night, but yeah, at the end there, that was quite amusing. The shit was edible and the cast loved it. I've got it here somewhere. Yes, cocoa powder, vegan condensed milk,
Yeah.
because someone in the
Yeah.
cast was a vegan,
Oh,
and
yeah.
crushed ginger nut biscuits for texture.
Oh, for
Mm,
texture.
sounds, mm. Yeah, sounds quite it sounds
Yeah.
quite delicious. Apparently so delicious that
Yeah.
the cast and crew kept eating it between takes.
No, keep it. We need that for the movie. We're gonna run out because everyone's eating
Yeah.
it.
And in context, if you think about it, oh yeah, and yeah. When you're watching it, you go, no, absolutely not. There's no way. There's
Yeah.
no way. But it is colored. It's hard to spot.
Mm,
Excuse me.
mm,
There, children. It's hard to spot. Do keep an eye out for it. Yeah.
yeah.
But it is definitely colored that, yeah, quite
Yeah.
perfectly
It's
shit brown, that
brown. Yeah.
runny shit. There's a tip.
Yeah.
There's a clue.
Mm,
Runny shit
yeah.
brown. Yeah. Yeah, this movie's gross. This movie's fucking
Yeah.
gross.
It really is.
Yeah. It's really gross. Well, in saying that though, is there a message to it or is it just mayhem? Yeah.
I mean, you could because Martin, the main character, he's
Yes.
the reason why he's doing all this is because he's so obsessed with this movie, The Human Centipede. And so you could argue that, there's some kind of commentary on that in terms of that kind of obsession and
Yeah.
fucked up media and people just, following it and this, that, and the other. But I don't know. It's like Tom Six, dude, like you were the one who made these movies. I don't know why you're there trying to offer that kind of critique
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
about like, look at these fucked up movies. But what happened if someone who's, got some mental issues watches it and gets too caught up in it? What happens then?
Well, there was a teacher in Tennessee in
Hmm.
2016 who played it to his school, to his class, and he was suspended. Tom Six responded by
Only?
tweeting,
Only
only
suspended?
suspended. Yeah, you
Oh,
should be lucky there, teacher.
jeez.
Yeah, you could go to jail. Tom Six
Is
responded
this the
by tweet.
same this is the same way that they, deal with disciplinary action for cops.
Mm, mhm,
It's the same
mhm.
school of thought.
This is America, remember, Dorian. This, yeah,
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
different. They're different. Tom Six responded by, this guy's not. This guy's what's Tom Six? He's Danish, Dutch, one of the two. He's from the
I don't know.
Netherlands. Um, Tom Six responded by tweeting, it should be mandatory to watch the Human Centipede to in school classes. It deals with a character that is bullied and what to do. Don't know what that means. Six also said that he would be giving the teacher an autographed copy of the film.
Oh my
Yeah. So
God.
this guy's a jester. He's a clown. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Um,
just trolling people. That's what he's doing. He's trolling people.
I can't find
In
a
that,
rehearsal for it,
like,
but
I don't know so much about for the first movie, but for the second one, it's definitely a case of, you know what? I'm absolutely
mm,
going to make the most disgusting, horrific, depraved thing
yeah,
I possibly can. And then the
yeah,
third
because
one, I'm going to make the most offensive, depraved thing I possibly can.
yeah, yeah. Um, because yeah, he basically cemented his decision. Where does it say it's cemented his decision? Let me get to the Wikipedia to find it on how he approached making the second film. Da,
Because I'm pretty sure from the get-go, he was always intending on doing three movies. Because, I mean, the first
Yeah,
one is
it
called
seems
First
like it very much
Sequence.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I kind of copy and paste that over and I close the other one. So I'll just go back to the Wikipedia to find it. Just give me a second to find it there, Dorian. Just cut this. too many tabs. You get too many tabs. Because it's really funny. The point is that it's really funny. And it's just so basic, and it really sums up his attitude towards this film.
Yeah.
Because my question is this a film that really tries to be deep about certain things and shows what horror can be caused if you're not touching on these things, and the failure to touch on these things in the first place, this is the consequences of it, yada, yada, yada. Or is this just me? Is this just Tom Stick going, I'm going to be grosser now and show you all of the shit and the blood and the da-da-da, yeah? And all of the gross bits you want in the first part to make it so fucking extreme and absurd that you can't actually complain about it. And I think they're people asking him if he was going to do a meta film. Hold on, let me get to it without making things up here. Give me a sec. Go through it. Okay, here we are. Thank you. But Six was inspired to make the movie a meta film after reporters kept asking him if he worried about people committing copycat crimes inspired by the first film. Although he had previously considered the concept for a possible sequel, the questions cemented his idea. Because people kept asking him about it, yeah, he got annoyed and said, fuck you, yeah. I'm going to do it anyway. Maybe he was wavering on the idea, that sort of thing, because that's what I get from, although he had previously considered the concept for a possible sequel, the question cemented his idea. So he was inspired by these people to make a meta film about copycat crime. So point being is you're already making a film on a very immoral basis there. There's a very immoral impetus to make another film. Yeah. And he's also got Lawrence R. Harvey to play Martin. The person
He's
obsessed with his film.
That actor, he's so good in this.
He is incredible.
And
He
then
doesn't say a
and then
word.
seeing him in the third movie, completely different character, it just really shows like just how good of an actor he is. Because you might be like, well, he doesn't have to do all that much in the first movie because but no, see what like in the third one and then so good.
Okay, you've frozen up my end here, Dorian. Sec. Okay, you back? Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I do agree. That should smooth itself out, that stuff there, when it's, rendered. And this one is incredible, and there are layers to it because he makes a variety of sounds. He's not silent. He doesn't say any actual words of dialogue, but there's these layers to his sadistic intensity and insanity that he's able to make through this little repertoire, this little bank of sounds he has for this character. Yeah. No, he's great. And yeah, so but that's how he's portraying his fans in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but then there's this tale at the same time about a this poor man who's living a
Mm.
nightmare, who's horribly
Yeah.
abused. Abuse is a big part of this film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly in the first half. This is
Yeah.
basically two
It's
half
really
children.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's
Please.
yeah, it's really interesting because even though like he's doing all this like awful violent stuff,
Hmm.
getting
Hmm.
that kind of insight into his life, you feel really bad for him. You feel really sorry for him. And, you just wish that things were different for him, that things were better for him. And yet, look at all this awful stuff that he's doing.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
that whole thing with
That's the
that. I
dichotomy,
like
and
that.
yeah, I do like that dichotomy with it. Yeah.
Mm,
Um, okay, this is how I see it overall. Uh, okay, the first half paints quite a vivid, effective picture of abuse and someone who has lived with that abuse and is
yeah,
playing out that cycle of abuse on his victims. Yeah. He
yeah,
is looking for something to attach onto, to something to give him purpose in life, to some sense of worth, focus, so he doesn't have to focus on what's going on at home or what's going on inside himself. That's the Human Centipede, the first film, absolutely obsessed with it.
yeah,
Um, and then he basically, in the second half, basically creates the centipede, and that all unfolds, unfurls as
yeah.
it does. That's basically how this film's structured. Um, and I think that yeah, it does paint quite a near realistic picture of it because
Mm,
what he goes through
yeah.
and how he reacts, it can get to that sort of place. It can actually get to
Mm,
that darker place. Yeah. And not
yeah.
saying that, and I understand, not saying that I would ever do that myself, but I understand how people could get there. Yeah, and I do have
Yeah.
sympathy and empathy for that. Yeah. But at the
Mm,
same time, what he does is wildly kind of crazy, just based on a
yeah.
film. Um,
Yeah.
and also it's just made to such a gruesome, extreme extent. It's like, oh, you wanted shit and blood? Here's your shit and blood. And I'm going to deliver it by through one of my fans as this horribly abused person. Is he trying to say something, or is this just him really fucking with his audience? That's the question with Tom Six and the Human
Mm,
Centipede. Does that
yeah.
all make sense? Yeah, that's my whole thing
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Six and Human Centipede. And then on the third
Mm,
one, where you think, oh, it's all come together. Is the cycle going to continue? The camera's coming closer. Is he going to collapse, fold in on himself? No, the third one, it comes back to Deisha Laser as the
mm.
craziest sheriff in this mega ultra prison.
Oh my
Like, have you ever
God.
seen Natural Born Killers? Tommy Lee Jones when he played that sheriff in Natural
No.
Born Killers. If
No, I
anyone's seen that out
haven't.
there, children, no, a lot of you would have. Imagine that by 1,000. This guy, yeah. Um, yeah, he's not the reserved kind of, like David Cronenberg meets
Mm,
Bela
no.
Lugosi of the first one. No, this one is just, yeah, this one is berserk. This one is berserk. And the thing is, there's no
Yeah.
subtlety to it whatsoever. No, this is just, yeah, and all the racial slurs and that sort of thing that comes in is just
Yeah.
insulting, fucking them with his audience all over again. I kind of really like it as well. I think he does it
Mm.
way better than Eli Roth.
No, yeah.
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 I'm not saying I vouch for Tom Six or I'd
Mm,
ever have him around my house because fuck knows what this guy's done or has gotten up to. Yeah.
yeah.
That's just me speaking, not speaking for Dorian there, children. Um, but yeah, what do you think of Tom Six, actually? We haven't talked about that before
Um,
we go any further.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I only know him point of reference from Human Centipede. And so, like, I mean, hey, he decided to make some movies and he clearly just made exactly what he wanted to make. So, hell yeah, dude.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
it
mate. Yeah,
seems like he
exactly.
had fun doing it. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And they're not bad films. It's not like he can't make a film. He can. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
This one is I want to see the Onene Club. Yeah.
yeah.
His elite masturbation in a circle movie. What? Anyway, in terms of censorship, um, I have heard a few things. I've heard it was turned to black and white to pass censorship laws, but I've also heard it was turned black and white because it was more grisly and grimy and scarier in black and white in the editing booth.
Mm,
So I don't know. I don't know. I'm glad it is black and white. I had a touch of a look because it's also an
yeah.
fedupmovies.com there. If you don't know it, they're Children of Popcorn and you were here with us on the iceberg, definitely check it out. It's got both the versions. I had a little scroll through and it's like, nah, 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 black and white's better. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. What do you reckon? Sorry, did you say you'd
Um,
watched the color one?
no, I haven't. I
Yeah,
haven't seen the
okay.
color one.
Okay. Would you watch it?
Nah, because I mean,
Nah,
like, if
neither.
this is the director's intent for it to be in black and
Absolutely.
white, then
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Just having a look, going through. There is no audience proxy. So, whose shoes do you put them in? The spectator.
mm,
Yeah. Yeah, as we go through, you realize if you haven't seen this movie, you're just going to go through the plot with us. Yeah, you'll see how that's fucked. What I've just said. Yes, this is one of the main little devices that really fucks with you. Yeah,
yeah,
and makes you feel really gross in this movie. There is great editing and pacing. And I liked the
yeah,
division between the two halves, yes, because I think that it's a great exploration of how someone can get that disturbed by what's gone on in his life and then just basically release and basically expel all that through this gruesomely creative way, gruesomely creative means, yes. And as a spectator, like of dark things and extreme things, I think this movie does do it really well because the special effects and the sound design. For me, the sound design is the MVP. It's next fucking level, but the special
yeah,
effects as well
yeah.
with Lawrence R. Harvey and the cast. Yeah,
Mm,
this movie is, yeah, in terms of, if you like extreme cinema, I think it's definitely worth watching. And at the end of the day, I really do like it. I'd like a
yeah.
break from it for a while. Yeah, after 3 times in 1 week. Yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
Um, okay. Didn't let it make a lot of money. All right. So it made 50K
Mm,
on its opening weekend across 18 cinemas. This is just your mainstream release. This is excluding
yeah,
your festivals, your around the globe, basically, your film festivals, where this sort of thing basically would get its name out there before it's released on the mainstream. And horror people would have been there for it. Not at these 18 cinemas of
yeah,
mainstream release. That's only why it made 50K. You're looking at about 2,000, a cinema for that. At the end of its run, the
yeah.
film made $141,000, which is nothing, which is absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
About half of what the previous installment had grossed. Yeah. So these are cult films. These
yeah,
define cult films with a cult following. Yeah. Okay, they fail at the box office, but they're beloved with their fans, and their fandom becomes a culture unto itself. That's pretty much what a cult film is, children, if you didn't know. The film had its United States premiere at Fantastic Fest in Austin. Yes, went through all that. Went through The Teacher. It's largely a British cast and was shot in London, June 2010.
mm,
Yep, a teaser trailer was released on 24th of September, in which Six introduced Martin, a man wearing a cardboard box over his head as the new doctor. The uncut film was originally granted an R18 plus classification by the Australian Classification Board. Blah, blah, blah. You went all through that. Monster Pictures got it out there. Thank you very much. Yes, so it is available today in Australia. We're not overly breaking the law, but it's a movie. Calm down. Roger, now Roger Ebert, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the god of film criticism.
Yeah.
He's a dickhead. He's a dickhead. The Chicago Sun-Times, who did not assign a star rating to the original, gave this a film 0 stars. So the
Yeah,
first
that's
one he
right.
refused to review.
Yeah.
This one he gave a 0, calling it reprehensible, dismaying,
Yeah.
ugly, artless, and an affront to any notion, however remote, of human decency. He would later name it the worst movie of 2011. Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, of course, that's great though. This is the sort of thing Tom Six wants. That's the sort of thing I want. Yes, I don't want
Yeah.
Roger Ebert appreciating this type of film. This world is not for him.
Yeah.
We don't want him in it, and people.
I mean, he likes
Yeah.
he likes horror movies. He liked horror movies.
Yeah. Well, he's been very unfair.
He
in
didn't
it,
shit
yes.
all over every single horror movie ever.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. No, you're right. You're right. But my issue is that, he is calling things like ugly and reprehensible, and you've got to throw in depraved, and he's missing depraved. Because this focuses on a lot of depravity, this film. They're paintbrushes, that's in the mode of extreme cinema. You know what I mean? And we'll put that to theater and performance art as well. Yeah. It does have a point. It does have a point, even if you do strip it down just to be a grotesque element to horrify. This movie also does it well. If you just want to judge it on those terms, if you just want to see some sick shit and see what happens one after the other and be terrified of what's going to come next, this film also delivers very well in that without having to worry about a message. I give that to its credit. I think it's if you can deal with Tom Six's attitude that comes through. You've got to be able to like extreme cinema. Otherwise, what are we doing here? But then you've got to be able to deal with the Tom Six tone. Am I crazy in saying that? That comes through?
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. More so in this one. More so than the first one is like a Hitchcockian suspense compared to this one. Yeah. But this one is definitely like, I'm not sure what the response was. No, it must have been bad. I assume it wasn't great by the mainstream critics, Human Centipede. And yeah. And he wanted to make a meta film as well. So here's a meta film. Yeah. So that's kind of a diss on that whole notion as well, I think, maybe coming into it. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and analyze Top Six all night, though. No, because I would drive myself mad. Okay. That's kind of the notes and what I just want to touch on my kind of theoretical thoughts on it. Are you ready to go through this sick shit, Dorian? Yeah, cool. Me too. All right. Again, last chance. Go away. Come back. Yeah, you was right? Okay, you're still with us, children? You're going to come back? You're still with us? Okay, cool. All right, so opening scene is the end of the first movie. Yeah, it's doing the Psycho 2 thing there. If you watched our Psycho 2 episode, remember that's the start of Psycho 1 in black and white. Copy and paste it, literally. Yeah, it's done it here. The middle victim left alive and alone. They didn't fact check on that podcast I was listening to. If is Yenny the head or the middle of the first centipede in the first film?
She is she's Jenny. Jenny's the one that dies. So she's the tail end.
So which one's Yenny? Just to clarify.
The one at
Yenny
the end,
Ashley.
the third one.
She's the third one. Yeah. Okay. She's the
Yeah.
last one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. But then we come into the world of Human Centipede 2. Monitor screen credits of Human Centipede 1. This is on a laptop monitor. This is all black and white. Yeah. We meet Martin, played by Lawrence R. Harvey. He puts his fingers to his lips.
Yeah.
He puts his fingers to his lips a lot. This is a very tactile film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
All right, we get the exterior shot of Martin's office. Yeah, so you've got, yeah, he works in a car park. He works in an underground car park. Yeah, he's the
yeah.
warden there, whatever the fuck they're called. And you've got a little window frame. You've got the frame itself and the frame within the frame, and then you've got Martin in his office. Yeah, we all know the type. Martin sees young couple in security monitor. Martin stands and picks up his trusty crowbar. Dorian, Martin and his victims, the choosing of his victims. Your thoughts while I
Yeah.
get some water,
Um,
please.
yeah. I am curious as to like why he chose the ones that he did. Because there's some like people, like there's more than one person in that group. And he kills some of them, but then other ones he takes for his experiment. So yeah, I'm curious as to why he chooses the ones that he does.
Yeah, you can definitely see why at times, because, he can be he's very vulnerable, he's very sensitive, he's easily pissed off. But then at times, yeah, like this young couple he sees in the security monitor at the start, there's no rhyme or reason, there's been no interaction with these people. Yeah. But Martin stands and picks up his trusty crowbar. We're going to see the crowbar a lot throughout this movie, their children. Martin is with the young couple.
Of choice.
It is his weapon of choice. But he's a good killer though.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you know, if you just reduce him to slasher level, he is a good killer. Martin is with the young couple, and the boyfriend is a dick to Martin. Yeah, he is a real little young Eshe like dick. Isn't he? Boyfriend tells Martin to go home and fuck his mother. Now, that is, I just want to note that, put a pin at that at this stage there, children. Keep that in mind. Martin shoots boyfriend in the foot, and then again in the leg, and then it incapacitates him with the crowbar. Thunk. Martin smiles sadistically. Now, the sadistic smiles of Lawrence R. Harvey are amazing. Yeah, so spooky, so unnerving. Before bashing girlfriend in the head with the crowbar. First sign of Martin's sadistic nature. Martin goes to retrieve his black van. Yes, he has a black van. Yeah. Martin binds girlfriend with gaffer tape. Martin is also severely asthmatic. We see a lot of that. Martin speed rewinds the first film and reveals his scrapbook dedicated to the first movie. Yes. And his future plans, the Human Centipede scrapbook.
It's his vision board. It's his vision board.
Yeah.
He's been scrapbooking.
I really like it. I like these sort of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucked, but it's great.
Yeah.
That's basically the theme of this movie. It's fucked, but it's great. Martin sees his next victim in the security monitor, the bald suited man, the bald suited man who shouts at him in the camera.
Yeah.
He is now in the back of the van. Yeah, this is a very methodical 1-2 kind of rhythm to it, and the way he operates, does Martin.
Yeah.
At times. Certainly at this point. Martin arrives at the warehouse with the landlord. So this is all obviously premeditated, yeah. He's been thinking about this for a while.
He's been scrapbooking.
He's been scrapbooking. He's organized the meeting here with the landlord. Miles smiles gleefully when the power comes on and he sees the space. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is the contrast. It's perfect. There's a spatial contrast to this place here in the warehouse to everywhere else in this film. This is Martin's, freedom is playground. And we see that as he gleefully dances to the melody of the distorted bells in his head. He's doing all this shit with his fingers. He's great. He's so goddamn good. Then we get the killing of the landlord, because the landlord, I forget what he says to him, basically just annoys him, so he's dead.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it was, yeah, I forget what it was exactly. But again, children, the way that Martin chooses to kill is arbitrary is not the word. There's some sort of thought
Yeah.
of choosing to it,
Yeah. I
but it's
mean,
just so
for
goddamn
this,
weird.
yeah.
Yeah,
For this kill though, his reaction to it makes it seem that he was absolutely not intending on like
sure.
inflicting a pretty sizable stomach wound in this guy, and this guy's now dead. It's pretty obvious that that was not his intention from the way he's reacting to it.
But yeah, no, you're right. You're right. But
Mm,
the editing for the kill was great because there's a storm
yeah.
going on at the time, so you get a lot of pulsing of black and white with the thunder and the
Mm,
lightning. And when he annoys him, then you get the flashback of Martin looking up. He's
yeah.
got a kind of little evil on his face. How
Yeah.
fucking dare you? And
Yeah.
then boom, the landlord's on his ground with an open stomach, and Martin trying to
Yeah.
patch it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
the landlord was not meant to die.
No.
Now this is another kind of ambiguous, kind of depends on how you read Martin and his relationship
Mm,
to whoever is dead or dying, whether this guy was meant to die or Martin is actually upset that he accidentally killed him.
mm.
Uh, yeah, what do you reckon? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said, like he's clearly like not like he's having a bit of a freak out. So either it's because he was not intending on killing
Mm,
this guy, or he's killed
yeah,
the guy and then this is his first
yeah.
time ever killing someone, and so that's why he's having a freak out.
First, yeah, that's a point. The first kill.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, this because the others are in the back and he was just
Yeah,
incapacitated and he's just knocked them
yeah.
out thus far. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Point. All right. Martin cuts clothes. Okay. So he gets them out of the van and starts spreading them out on the floor, on the warehouse floor. Martin cuts clothes off the initial girlfriend with the
Yeah.
Eshe dick boyfriend who rages as this happened and the other male victims. I put cannot help but watch, but there's just a creepy voyeuristic,
Yeah.
moment going on here, which happens a lot in this movie. Phone call from talent agent for Asian dude. And so for the
Mm.
first part of the original Centipede, and if what you're saying is correct there, Dorian, which I'm sure it is, the middle piece of the original Human Centipede from the first film. Yes, am I still coming through clearly?
Mm.
Yeah, the internet's cool.
Um, it would have been the end piece because it's Ashlyn Yenny and she plays Jenny, and Jenny is the end because Jenny's the one of the two girls that dies, and that's the end of it, the third person.
So there's two girls from the original first film in this. So I just wanted to
Um,
clarify. Because there's Ashlyn Yennin,
well,
who's at the head of, the Centipede in this one.
yeah, that's yeah,
She's the returning actor from the first one.
yeah,
And so you're saying she was at the end of the first Human Centipede,
yeah,
yes?
yeah, because she's
Yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Ashlyn Yenny, yeah, she
Yeah.
plays Jenny.
hmm hmm Um, yep. And so yeah, they put this, and that's but that she's not the girlfriend here at the start.
No.
As no. And then there's the phone call from the talent agent. So there'd be the other girl, and sorry, and who,
Mm.
and so there's the other girl and the Asian dude. I forget his name. He's from Heroes. We talked about him last time, and she will be the middle piece who dies. Yes, at the end of the first one we saw at the start
Mm.
of this movie, dying. Then yes,
Um, it's the
that
end of the first movie. She doesn't die. That's what makes that move the ending of that movie
well,
so
no, sorry.
fantastically
Okay,
bleak.
I see the confusion. Okay, no, I see the confusion. She will eventually die. It's obvious she is going to die. She's just left there
Yeah.
to rot and die. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. They are both unable to audition. Yes, that's the phone call on Martin's phone. All right. Martin is angry as this, and he picks up his crowbar and knocks out the boyfriend methodically. Yeah, what I mean by that is he just kind of like almost smiles, like happy, whistling as he works, kind of thing. Clunk. Yeah, and I don't mind that because fuck the boyfriend guy. And yeah. And Martin isn't someone you want to side with or something, but it is fun following him and watching him to see what he'll do next. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because he is just such a delightful freak. And like in the third one, remember when you see together Dieter Laser and Martin, and they're walking down the hallway together, and he's got his arms and he's using them like, and he's doing the, so these two, these two. All right. Martin is at home in bed at night. Okay, this is where it gets particularly dark. Okay. All right. And I'm not omitting things. All right, as I've discussed. Stop them tears. You're just going to make Daddy's willy harder. This is Daddy's voiceover that Martin hears in his head as he's laying in bed and dark at night. Yeah, a little light shining on his face. Baby crying is heard, and this is heard intermittently throughout the film. Yes, it's used as a let's say a motif, a lay motif, as in a few, because it's almost musical the way that it's used. Yeah. Goddamn, it's used that the baby crying and the bells are the two musical devices that are used for the entirety of the end credits. Yeah, so the sound design does a lot to basically give the I think the psychology of the narrative and the way the plot develops substance as well, which I've got written down. Plot as well. So there's more to this film than just sickness for sickness sake. I'm here to defend it. I'm here to defend the human centipedes. Okay, mother enters the room and switches on the light. The baby crying stops instantly with the flick of the switch. Before we go further, we of course have to ask Dorian, what do you think of Mother, as I get some more water out of the fridge?
Like, she's kind of shit, but also like, like she's so awful to Martin, and like just what she says to him and all that kind of stuff, how she treats him. But obviously, like it's pretty obvious that she's also like going through it. But it doesn't justify her treating her son the way that she does.
Are the caricatures too extreme to empathize with them?
I don't know. Because I mean, the caricatures are nothing compared to the caricatures of the third movie. So
okay, sure.
Constantly escalating.
Yeah.
It's an escalating series.
And Tom Six sees that and then just is one step ahead of you with what he that's his thing.
Like, she just, some of the stuff that she says, it's just, for some reason, you just feel kind of like taken aback. Just like, what the fuck did she just say? Because it's just so...
First of all, she sniffs and asks her son Martin if he shits himself once again in
You shit
disgust.
yourself again.
So automatically from the get-go, we know that it's not a happy home.
Yeah.
No. Excuse me. Close up of picture framed above Martin's bed, which is of a young man in the I assume the house that we are now in, with 3 Rottweiler dogs. Okay, so that would have been Martin as a younger gentleman, I'm assuming, with that one. Yeah, that's not the dad. No.
No.
No. Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Because the dad comes along later on in a photo, I'm pretty much sure of. Yeah. Buzzing flies and centipede sounds can be heard. Martin pulls out scrapbook, the trusty, his beloved scrapbook from under mattress. Martin is enthralled by Aisling Yenny. Yes, she was in the first one, as we've discussed. As bells are heard in the sound design. Mother enters the room and brushes her hair as Martin readies himself for work. Okay, so it's a night at home. Yes, the psychiatrist pedo sits in the lounge room.
God. Like just the way he like taps the couch, like come sit down next to me, patting the couch. I'm like, oh no, I know exactly what kind of guy this is.
Yeah.
Just the way he does that, it's like, oh, no one does that who isn't like molesty at the very least.
Has a wee cameo in the third film as well. This
Yeah.
actor.
He has a very full beard.
Very full beard, like a university professor who just doesn't care anymore, or during the pandemic, however you want to imagine it. But it's unshaveled, but it's of that style. Now Martin enters and checks on his pet centipede. He feeds him whilst keening. Yeah. Again, the sounds.
Loves it. I wonder if
please.
he gave it a name.
Oh, I don't know.
Did he give it a name? If he did, I want to know what that centipede's name is.
Yes, children, if you know, let us know. Absolutely. Yes. Or name it and draw it. Yes. Or however you want to conceive it visually and send it to us. That would be very cool. Yeah. And if you could make little integrate popcorn somehow. There you go. The doctor watches approvingly as Martin feeds his centipede. Yes. Mother enters and the doctor pats the seat next to him, as you said, the Dorian, for him to join them. And Mother says he keeps talking about a 12-person centipede. What is wrong with him? A 12-person centipede. Well, the doctor theorizes that the pain of a centipede bite symbolizes the pain of abuse.
Yeah.
Okay. Mother says that she misses her husband and so the doctor has just, put that out there. Then Mother says that she misses her husband. Yeah, the one that abused you. And whilst the doctor gropes his thigh, Martin's thigh. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go.
So Martin's dad sexually abused him when he was a child. That's what the little thoughts that he was having, the little flashback, I guess, kind of thing that he was having earlier. And the psychiatrist saying that was basically just confirming that. And the mom, just straight up says, I miss my husband, it's all your fault that he's in prison.
Yeah.
Like I hate you because my husband's in prison because of you, and so I hate you. And it's just, and unfortunately that kind of attitude is like a real thing. Like people do indeed have that kind of attitude towards like their children or stepchildren or whatever, because their partner went to prison for molesting that child. And then as a result, they hate that child because, it's all your fault. Like,
and it's also turning a blind eye to the effects of that abuse there. I think it's trying to touch on here as well, because the doctor represents the institution, the government, society at large, and its attitude towards, and its own fucking demented cosplay way that this movie's doing it. It is making that message. We are given a clear framework of the shit that Martin lives in. Yeah. Because the doctor, I'm assuming, is he a psychiatrist? Because he has given Ventolin. I don't know the specifics of Ventolin in
he's
that
a
sense. He's a
psychiatrist.
psychiatrist, thank you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
these people, the people that goes through this type of abuse are prone to mutilate their
Mm,
own organs. Ah, well, I'm sure it's
mm.
just a phase.
Yeah.
Doctor, and then he pats Martin on the head after being refused a
Mm,
handshake and then leaves. Close up of a framed picture of Martin as a toddler with his dad. Yeah. And then you get like the bells and the centipede and
mm,
the microphone. Dinner in the kitchen. Psycho, anyone?
yeah.
Done really well, though, I
Mm,
thought. Mother has decided to kill them both. I've decided to kill us both.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just said so matter-of-factly out of
So,
nowhere.
mhm, mhm. As they're eating, far too many baked beans on a plate with, I'm sure, cold fried eggs or boiled
Yeah.
eggs. Disgusting stuff.
Mm,
Throbbing techno music from upstairs starts up, real German, Gabba style. Mother bangs on the roof with a mop. Bald, tattooed, aggressive neighbor enters kitchen. What did you think of this guy?
I mean, I'm like, okay, he's giving neo-Nazi vibes. Like he didn't have any like
No.
white supremacist symbols as tattoos and stuff that I could see, but like he was still giving off those vibes.
I'll beat your goddamn head in because I've taken too much amphetamines vibes from down the club.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Kind of British
yeah,
fucking raver for football,
yeah,
yeah, that
yeah.
sort of
He's a
thing. But taken to
skinhead.
an extreme, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Bonehead to specify.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, okay. Bull tattooed aggressive neighbor enters kitchen. He assaults them both as mother pleads to kill us both.
Mm,
Yeah. Martin's knocked out. You get a close up of his eyes and his glasses. You get that whoa, Martin
mm,
is going to kill you sound. Yeah. It's
mm,
played a lot when he's looking at the monitor and stuff. There's my next victim. Whoa. At work, Martin pisses blood. Now,
yeah.
Martin watches Human Centipede. He's watching the surgery explanation scene. Yeah, we talked about that last time there, Dorian. You detailed it well, being one of our, I think,
Yeah.
both our favorite scene in the movie.
Mm, yeah.
Um, Martin sees expecting couple with a baby on the
Yeah.
security monitor. So you've got a couple. She's pregnant. They've got a small child. He preps his pistol as there's the baby crying in the soundtrack. Yeah, I'm not sure if that
Mm,
was the baby coming from the distance, with the couple we've just seen, or this is the
mm,
baby that was heard in his
mm,
flashback with his dad before. This is where it started to fuck with me in that sense.
mm,
Yeah. Martin steps out from behind the pillar and shoots the couple's car to a dead stop. Husband slumps out of the car and onto the concrete. Whack. Expectant mother and child are left. Martin coos to the baby in his arms as distorted bells are heard. Baby is left by Martin safely in the car.
mm,
Mother to be crawls away as Martin smiles
mm.
sadistically. Whack. Martin is a child. I'm not saying that derogatorily, I'm just saying that that's where he is in this movie.
Yeah.
He is a child himself. Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
That's what I think it was trying to say with the cooing and gaga gooing, because he's not speaking any
Mm,
words to it.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
baby, then putting it into the car. And that's revisited and such as
Mm,
well.
yeah.
Yeah. That's why I think he doesn't kill children, doesn't even harm them. He's actually really
Mm,
nice to them,
yeah. I
protective.
mean, also, yeah. Also, like in yeah, it's just yeah, I think maybe because of the abuse he suffered as a child,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
that sort
Hmm.
of means that the concept of sort of protecting innocence and that kind of thing, and just him having that kind of connection there, and potentially his like mental development might have been a little bit stunted as a result of the abuse as well. And so,
Yeah.
having that kind of like
Yeah.
more
I mean, it's
childlike
class.
mentality
It's
and therefore
yeah, it's
connecting more with
classic
children.
stuff. It is classic
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And I think this is the way that Six is choosing to, visualize it. And it is
Mm.
effective. It's disturbing. It's not fun, but
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but it is well done. It is well done. It's different, is what I give it. I hate to say that. Oh, it's a bit different. No, not.
Mm.
I just haven't
Yeah.
seen it done this way before. Yeah. Is that fair? Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Laptop monitor. Laptop monitor. Human Centipede, where Dr. Heiter reveals over his completed human, revels over his completed human centipede. Martin was on the security monitor, then cut back to close up of his face watching the film Human Centipede. Yeah. He looked down there and then he looked up, but then it lingered on the security monitor. You could see him walking, and then next cut, he's back in the office where we just saw him looking at the film, watching the film. Yeah.
Yeah.
So things are starting to warp. Yeah.
Mm.
Martin is hypnotized and smiles sickly as he licks his fingers and then the screen onto the human centipede on the screen, the OG human centipede.
Mm.
Sandpaper masturbation by Martin.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a scene. So I can't just list these atrocities one after the other. It's going, what the fuck? What did you think of this, Dorian?
Uh, I mean,
See,
yeah, it's like,
Martin, he's
okay,
cooing with
yeah,
a baby,
sure.
and then next minute,
Yeah.
yeah.
He got a little bit too turned on by watching the Human Centipede, and now he's jacking off. And because of his sexual abuse trauma from that, um, seems
Uh,
like that psychiatrist had a little bit
yeah.
of some truth to what he said there. I'm assuming it's just, yeah, it's not difficult to figure out why, someone
Yeah, it
might
didn't come out of nowhere. The
feel
doctor,
that kind of way
put it in
and
place there.
do that to
Mm.
themselves. But yeah, rips up some
Um,
sandpaper, jacks off with it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like, hey, this thing, no king shame,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah, be careful, just out of
Yeah,
general
I'm not
concern for
yucking any
others.
yums.
Yeah, no, no, no.
Yeah.
But I think the whole thing, I don't want to go into all of this sort of stuff. Of course, not in this
Mm,
movie, certainly
yeah.
to no deep kind of level. It's not the point of this film overall. It's
Yeah.
still a horror movie. We're here to have fun with it.
Mm,
But this kind of idea, I do need to say, I just had a responsibility, I guess, of putting something out
mm,
there. And, and also for myself. Yeah, people have been through stuff like this, this isn't
mm,
just a general outcome, natural turn of
yeah.
events. We find some
Mm,
sandpaper,
yeah.
then other such
Yeah.
things, and then decide, no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no,
It's a
there's
more
no
extreme
correlation.
version.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a more
extreme.
extreme version, extreme
Yeah,
response to certain
yeah.
feelings that kind of
Hmm.
abuse would
Yeah.
cause someone to have.
So let's just saying it just so it's not put out there as a blanket idea of
Yeah.
things. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Okay. Two drunk British girls enter the car park. Oh, there's a midget in there wanking. Next cut, boom,
Yeah.
girls are in the back of the warehouse, abducted and bound. Yeah. So there's moments of editing like that, which are kind of cool
Mm,
and kind of funny if you
yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. M readies and lines up his segments, his human segments, the pieces to the
Mm,
centipede. He stops to listen to the baby in the womb. Yes, the pregnant mother is still
yeah.
alive, as is the baby. The rapid heartbeat is heard and the power surges. I really like the way that lights were turned on and off and the
Mm,
sound that accompanied
yeah.
it, the clong, of the lights in the warehouse. Used to dramatic intent. Martin gags and tries to say mum. Okay. once he's heard the mother, he kind of once he hears the baby in the womb, yeah, he starts to freak out a little bit,
Mm.
and he starts to gag. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was watching. Just left the subtitles on effed up films.
Mm. Yeah.
This moment underneath it says "mum," where he's got the tongue and he's like,
Yeah. Mm.
underneath it says
Yeah.
"mum." Huh?
Yeah. Like a lot of the just various different noises that he makes. Like the subtitles are trying to do something with it. And a lot of the time there's just not any kind of words. So it might have just been that.
An interpretation
I don't know.
of yeah, what was going
Mm.
on. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, fair, 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 fair. M becomes angered and he switches off the light. With the torch, he goes down the line of captives. This was just padding. This was just adding to the horror of the moment of
Yeah.
the scene. We get phone rings. Okay, yes, Ashley and Yenny from Human Centipede is very excited to audition for the new Quentin Tarantino movie. Smoky little crafty bugger, eh? What actor would be excited to get that audition? Martin exits to go pick up Ashlyn Yenny. Then one of the segments gets the piece of tape off their lips and shouts out, "It's a fucking film. The Human Centipedes, it's a fucking film. He's going to
Yeah.
stitch us up ass to mouth." And then everyone else screams. The Human Centipede screams. I really wanted to throw it in there. It wasn't even that fucking good anyway. The first film. That would have taken it out of it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At home, mother is stabbing Martin in bed at night in the dark.
Mm.
Martin enters room and switches on the light. How would you
Yeah.
feel? How would you feel, Dory?
Yeah.
You come home.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. It's like, yeah, he comes in, it's like, well, this is awkward.
Mhm, mhm. He stares at mother, then gets into bed.
Mm. Yeah,
Baby
and he's
is,
just lying there. Yeah, he's just lying there with her standing over him with this knife, essentially like, okay, yeah, do it. And she can't bring herself to do it. She was able to do it when
yeah,
he was supposedly under the blankets, but
yeah,
with him just right there in front of her, she's not able to bring herself to do it.
I agree. I agree. Baby is crying and daddy is heard. Mother
Mm.
attention cuts wrist, which was particularly
Yeah.
WTF. Mother finds scrapbook under mattress. Distorted bells are heard.
Just the way that as she's
Go,
flipping through it
go, yeah.
and just like her responses to seeing some of the pages, her just looking through it, she's
Mhm.
like, what human, this movie, is this what you've been, going on, blah, blah. And she's like, mouth to anus. Like just
Yeah.
the way she said that was for some reason so funny to me.
I actually have all of her lines here, Dorian. They go.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
is this? 100% medically accurate?
yeah, yeah.
Mouth to anus? One digestive system? Is this the perverted film you've been talking about? Yeah.
I yeah, I don't know why that was so funny to me, the way that
That's
she was
great.
just that line delivery, but oh my God.
Because I've actually been through that. I've had
Mm.
fucked up comic books and magazines from
Oh
when
yeah.
young, found by religious parents, burnt and
Yeah.
such, looking
Yeah.
at it, yeah. And so that scowl he had on his face, yeah, no, I related to
Yeah.
that scowl absolutely, coming from the religious angle
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
And
cool.
she ruined his hard
Mm.
worked on
Yeah,
scrapbook.
absolutely. Yeah. No, no,
His
no, don't
pride
fuck
and
with the
joy, his
artist
scrapbook.
work. Yeah. But he picks up the scrap pages and he holds the picture of Dr. Heiter lovingly to his chest. And then he puts on the white lab coat and exits towards the lounge room. Yeah, okay. So, we've got a turn here. It's just been a turn. A switch has just been turned on for Martin. Now, okay. Mother is looking in disgust down at the centipede in his tank in the lounge room. Mother comes in and pushes a goddamn face down into it. She is stung by the centipede. Screaming, 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 screaming. Martin is done with mother, goes into the kitchen where she has collapsed and caves in her face with his trusty crowbar. And the and you mentioned the Foley there was fantastic, and it was
Yeah.
just very satisfying. She deserved to die. She
Yeah.
definitely deserved to die because we haven't been able to attach ourselves to anyone in this film, so we don't care if anyone
Yeah.
dies either. Yeah, so
Yeah.
if they're going to be more gruesome and brutal, fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, certainly if you've got a penchant for that sort of thing, these moments are fine. I think that's why I didn't ever care for about any kind of, like squeamishness about this film whatsoever. Yeah. The works
Yeah.
on Mother's Face is phenomenal. Yes, we did all the Dan Martin thing. Check him up. We'll link it up on the Facebook page. And and I'll put up on the stories on Instagram. Mother is set up at the kitchen table by Martin. I loved how we returned to the kitchen table there, Dorian. Yeah. When Martin propped Mother up at the kitchen
Yeah.
table.
And he just sits
Oh,
down across from her, just has something to eat, like it's nothing.
I like on the sound, and you could see her open cheek churning and writhing. Yeah, and you could actually hear it
Yeah.
as very
Yeah.
centipede-like sounds again.
Yeah. And there's
Yeah.
like yeah. Yeah. And there's a hole like all the way through her head. That's how badly he caved in her head. There's a hole all the way
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's cannibal sort of thing Cannibal Corpse would love, it's that level of fucking just
Yeah.
disgusting brutality.
Yeah.
The upstairs music begins. The gabber, the German gabber, is back. Martin smirks, casually hits the roof with the kitchen mop.
Yeah.
Neighbor
He's feeling
enters.
confident now.
Oh yeah.
He's
No,
very
he's got his
confident.
game on. He's got his game
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Neighbor enters and sees Mother. Fuck!
Yeah.
Martin is behind him, shoots him in the leg, and then smartly disables him with the crowbar. And now that he's getting ready for the grand work, he prepares the suitcase. It includes a hose, a funnel, and a dog bowl. Remember that. Pin on that for later. In that for later.
Yeah.
Now
He's just
Martin
tossing everything in there loose, so much stuff. And it just made me think of Art, the clown's little trash bag full of toys.
Yeah, definitely.
Those are the kinds of stuff he was tossing in there.
Yeah. Okay. What did he throw in there? What did we there was there's lots of tape.
Just about every
There was
sharp
lots
object he could get a hold
sharp
of.
objects
Duct
and
tape.
lots of bottles of liquids. Yeah. Let's just say that for now. Yeah, okay. Okay. Martin is at work watching Human Centipede and he's cosplaying Dr. Heiter.
Yeah, he is.
He is at this
got a
point.
white coat on.
Yeah, and it's Martin sees orgy in car on security monitor via magnifying glass. This was a little bit of humans are like insects, centipedes, observing. Yeah. Now the orgy involves the psychiatrist from the lounge room, his creep friend, and two sex workers, female. Creep friend sees Martin standing near car, staring at this gross conversation shared between them beforehand. Martin shoots Creep after being verbally assaulted by him. Crowbar to Creep's head. The doctor is hurrying to finish off. The doctor is next level creep. Next to the psychiatrist, next level. Doctor sees that it is Martin and is pleasantly surprised. Oh, Martin, as he's doing up his pants. Then he begins to.
During the.
So please.
Yeah. Before Martin shows up, like there's the doctor and his friend, they're having a conversation. That his friends out there going like, oh, isn't this great? Blah 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 kind of thing. And and the doctor's like, yeah, I mean, I'd much rather fuck one of my patients, Martin. I'd much rather fuck him, but like this will do. So like, like it's not just him being a little bit creepy and it being interpreted that way. No, he straight up wants to fuck Martin.
Yeah. Imagine what your father would think. That's the words of the psychiatrist to Martin.
Why would you say that? Like know his history.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Six has put that in there again because Eshe boyfriend from the start, go home and fuck your mother. What would your father think? It's all family references, trigger, boom, shot in head.
Yeah.
Not taken away to be part of the centipede, shot in the head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's the father there, more weight. Anyway, Mira's boyfriend from the start of the film. Martin storms off, snarling after the sex worker. He stops to cuckoo baby. Yeah, it's got to take a moment for the baby. Distorted bells and baby rattle can be heard. Yeah, there's distorted. I loved the fact that the baby rattle, but distorted got added into the sound. Beautiful. Sex worker is on stairs with a fucked leg. She maces Martin. Boom, sex worker is in the back of the van. She tried. I'll give that to her. She did try. Hello? Not frozen? Are you good? No, there we go. Martin stops at work to pick up his beloved Human Centipede DVDs, giving it a wipe of the case. You know, this is a precious object. And then he gets confirmation call that Yinny is on her way. Martin drives off to the airport in his trusty black van. Yinny is in the front of the van and the captives are in the back. Yinny, have you seen the Human Centipede? Martin coughs a lot and Yinny is a germaphobe. Oh, that must be Quentin's car. Martin smiles sadistically. Yeah, that was a really nice. Yeah, they lingered on that one.
Yeah.
More could have been made with the "Have you seen the Human Centipede" moment, I think, because instead of smiling sadistically, he had the spaced out, hypnotized look. Yeah. Anyway, he and
Probably
Yinny and
because
his
he's probably got that kind of response because it's her.
Mm.
She's here in my car. And and then he's thinking about like what he's planning on doing, but just kind of like a little bit starstruck and a little bit just like, oh my God, everything's happening.
But no, shout out to Yenny for coming along back to the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, really cool thing to do. Why did I just randomly scroll for no reason when I didn't need to? Why? One sec. Germaphobe. All right, Yinny enters a warehouse, crowbar to head. Wonk. Lights come on and the centipede screams. Martin begins to prepare for surgery. Martin is in his white coat and underwear. It's a delightful look. Martin lays out his tools on the ground and the surgery scrap pages underneath. Yes, he's making sure everyone's having a look at what he's about to use. Martin is sadistic. You cannot deny that.
Yeah.
Martin begins with upstairs neighbor's teeth. Yep. Hammered teeth, starts pulling them out. Mother-to-be is dead, and Martin is very sad. Again, he's going to use her in the centipede. She was going to give birth to a lovely baby. What's he crying about? Martin listens to the baby, though, which is still alive. He drags mother's body to the corner and places it under the tarp. Then he begins to cut the ligaments of the knees. And Tom Six makes sure you see it this time. Yeah, which I quite appreciate.
It's so gross. I love it. Yeah, because like he cuts open like the skin and then he sticks his finger in that incision, and so you can see like his fingers wiggling around in there through the skin, kind of from underneath the skin, wiggling around. He gets the ligaments and all and the tendons and all that out and pulls them out, and just pulls them out. It's like, and then he cuts them, and he doesn't do it quickly. He does it quite slowly as well, and it's so icky. I love it.
Cool. I love this next bit. Cut to buttock flaps of original bald man. Being haphazardly removed by Martin. He dies in Martin's sobs. He makes a mess. He makes big fuck off triangles. Don't know what he was thinking. So, he's learning. Martin is angry as he drags him under the tarp. He is cheered up by his staple gun, though. It sets to work, connecting the centipede pieces. He is no Dr. Heiter. It's a mess. the staple work.
Yeah.
And good work to the cast, though. The ensemble of the centipede itself, they are wailing, they are crying, great eye work because the mouths are obscured. Really good stuff across the board. The centipede is complete, and Martin dances to the music of the wailing
Yeah.
victims. He
Yes.
dabs tears
He's so, yeah, he's so happy.
gratitude
He's literally crying. He's
from his
so
eyes.
happy.
He brushes his hair. It's like Simpson and the pig
Mm,
and that pig, Spider Pig from
yeah.
the movie. Ooh.
Yeah.
He smiles in the mirror. He looks at himself in the mirror and goes, "Well done, Martin. You've done
Yeah.
it." Yeah, he is
Yeah.
finally happy with himself. This could be the first time maybe in his
Yeah.
whole goddamn life that he's ever felt a
Mm,
feeling of
yeah.
success, that he is happy with himself. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Dinner time for Yenny. Yeah, it's dinner time for the centipede there,
That's one
Dorian.
way to put it.
Yep, these are notes.
Yeah.
I don't write it out script form. She refuses at first, so she gets the hose. Yeah,
Yeah.
goes down her
And
mouth,
yeah, so
forces
it's
the food.
long hose, yeah. And you can, she's
Mm-hmm.
like gagging and choking as he's
Mm-hmm.
shoving that down. And like that, that
Mm.
would be, if someone has a really like weak gag reflex, that could absolutely make,
Mm.
like watching that absolutely could make, like set them off because of how
Yeah,
much, like how long that goes on for. And the fact that like
yeah,
it's, you know, you're
yeah.
seeing her face as she's getting this pretty thick tube shoved down her throat and she's
Mm-hmm.
choking and gagging on it. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Yenny's tough though. So I said, most
mm,
unique final girl ever. I was being, I was
yeah,
being kind of
yeah,
serious. That was what she has
mm,
that attitude because she just
yeah,
throws that dog ball up against the wall violently to start with. Yeah.
yeah,
And she does fight into the end, foreshadowing.
mm,
The phone rings and Yenny screams. The other two members of the OG Centipede are now available to audition. Martin pulls out Yenny's tongue with pliers to silence her. That was brutal. That was a brutal moment. Yeah.
yeah,
Martin works
yeah,
dog food down the one digestive system. He's rubbing his stomachs, trying to work it down.
yeah,
That's not how
yeah,
poo works,
making
but
little
never mind.
like raspberries,
He's
yeah,
blowing the
blowing
raspberries.
raspberries.
Yes, of
He's
course.
getting
Um,
frustrated because
but no
they're not
matter.
shitting.
Yeah, they're not blowing
He's
themselves. No.
frustrated. Yeah.
He resolves this with a liberal and equal dose of laxatives for each
Mm,
piece of the peed, and
yeah.
the rumble, the rumbles begin with Yenny,
Oh my
and the
God.
explosive
Here comes the
brown,
brown color.
yeah, the brown-colored shit makes its way down the chain.
Yep.
Martin is overjoyed. He's just blowing raspberries. He's laughing. He's dancing around like it's the sound of fucking music. Shit hits the camera as Martin laughs and
Yeah, it really
blows
does. Oh my
blows
God.
more raspberries. Martin is, but he's put off by the smell though. It's just, oh, hang on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Boy,
like actually this smells like shit.
did we expect potter puree?
Yeah. Yeah.
The power is surging on and off. Now, and he goes to throw up. He goes to throw up. He goes to throw up as the centipede just whimpers. The human centipede just whimpers at this point. Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
all intentionally done. I'm mentioning all those moments there, like the whimpering and the moaning, because there are ensemble vocal reactions to what
Mm.
is actually
Yeah.
going on in the scene at the moment in that stage
Mm.
of the plot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there is actual thought behind
Mm.
the grotesquerie. Yeah, definitely. It's better than how I don't know. I don't know. It'd be interesting to compare, is a better thing to say at this point of
Mm.
time in the iceberg. It will be interesting to compare with the August Underground works, yeah?
Yeah.
Because do you reckon this is in a similar playing field?
Um, kinda, yeah.
Mm.
Obviously, like stylistically, it's very different, but like the
In
kind of
terms
stuff
of
that
the,
happens in this one, yeah, I would not, it wouldn't be out of place in an August Underground movie.
yeah, yeah. To the level, to the point that they'll take things, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, and either works. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Stay tuned for those fucking things.
Yeah.
Um, okay. This thing cannot live. Yes, that's what I put at this point. My thing.
Mm.
M throws up
Yeah.
as I said, it was okay. M touches his lip. Okay. Martin touches his lips and then looks at the centipede. And then we have the rape scene. And this is with barbed wire.
Yeah.
It's around his cock. We've gone from the sandpaper
Yeah.
to, yes. And we have the end of the centipede.
Yeah.
It is female. She, apologies, is female. I do not know how you represent or identify. I'm just going for general terms for the sake of the review. But that's all I've put. I actually just put rape scene here. So I'm just, setting the scene and putting down the necessary information for the tone of the film. Yes, because this film's very intentional. It is what it is, but it's very intentional all the way through. That's all I want to say. Is there anything you want to say on this moment? No. Moving forward. Yeah, cool. All right. As Martin recovers, mother-to-be gets up and runs out of the warehouse into the rain in the relative safety of the car. Martin is at the car window fighting.
Also, like, she's like in active labor. She's in active labor as she's like gotten up and running out. Water,
in black and white, looks like blood is broken. Yeah, as she's running out. Yes. Okay. Now Martin is fighting to get into the car. Now she has given birth. I did put down right after a rape, because there is a kind of, putting one after the other. Especially this birth, because it's grotesque. We see the fetus come out in a very bloody, gory way.
Yeah.
Maybe the most realistic ever.
In the driver's seat of the car. Yeah. Yeah,
right in the driver's seat
of the car. And so obviously this freshly emerged baby is in like the footwell underneath where the pedals are. And it's pretty obvious where this is headed. Given where that baby is situated, and how soft and fragile they are.
Yeah, but she wants to get out of there.
Especially there. Yeah.
She has to get out of there.
Yeah.
So yes, the
can make another baby, it's fine.
Because gonna have to, because this one's head is crushed as she starts up the car.
Yeah. Because it's underneath the pedals. She just floors it and it's crushed.
Yeah, so if the rape wasn't enough, then here's baby death. Ba-boom,
almost immediately afterwards.
We're in tier 3. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. Martin wails at her getaway. Then as he puts away his penis, puts on his pants and pops his coat. Inside, the upstairs neighbors tear away from upstairs. Sorry, focus, Jane. Inside, the upstairs neighbor tears away from his allotted asshole, tears his mouth away from it, and splits the centipede in twain. Martin is furious and starts to decimate the individual segments. That is, shoot them one by one with a goddamn gun.
Yeah.
The sounds of the biological and Frankenstein centipede emerged in the soundscape at this stage very distinctly.
I don't understand why the people, while, they can tell that he's going to shoot them next, and that they're whimpering and terrified because they're about to die, right? Given the circumstances you currently find yourself in, wouldn't you be like, oh, thank God, please end it. I want this to be over. Like, why are they seemingly like terrified about the fact that he's about to shoot them in the head? Like, if it were me, I'd be like, thank you.
Yeah.
This could not come soon enough.
I hear what you're saying. I don't know. Hopefully I never am put in such a situation to find out exactly how I feel. Okay. Okay, so we're inside. Okay, yes. The sounds of the biological and Frankenstein centipede emerge. Martin is distracted and Yenny switches off the lights. Yes, because she's the head of one half. It's crawled away. She switched off the lights. Martin turns them back on and Yenny yeets the centipede tank at Martin's head. Yeah, great. As I say,
Hell
great
fun. Hell yeah.
Unfortunately, she misses. And both centipedes squirm away. Yes, both biological and Frankenstein. Martin runs out of bullets and just starts severing necks with his knife at this stage. It's just going to town on them. Yenny is the last to be left alive. Now she feigns vulnerability, and Martins goes to pat her head. Okay, again, there's that childlike state, yeah. Of anything that, like, any moment you want to hug, like moments, Martin's very susceptible to. That's his weak spot. If you needed to take him out, that's how you do it. But of course, she's a head of a human centipede, bit difficult. She does get to club him in the nuts, though, from underneath. And she does get to feed him the biological centipede with that goddamn funnel.
Yeah, she gets the
hose.
funnel, shoves it up. Yeah, she gets the funnel, shoves it up his ass, and then drops the centipede down. Hell, yes.
Yeah, she gets in the best one she could get in before she's done. Yeah.
Yes.
Because she's done. Martin slits her throat after this. He's in goddamn agony and he's fallen down and getting up, but he does slit her throat. Yeah, the centipede's done. You knew this coming in. Yeah, there's no happy ending in these movies, even at the end of part 3. We'll say it. I never want to do it on the pod. It's too ridiculous. I like it, but it's too ridiculous.
Yeah.
Doctor, the what's his name? Bill Boss. Yeah.
Yeah. Bill Boss.
He's trying to take over this maximum security prison, the worst in America. It's actually based on one in around near Texas. Yeah, it's actually based on a real life prison taken from blah blah blah. And once he gets them all in the centipede, and no one is there to stop him or tell him what to do, and he's just up there on the tower and with megaphone, just yelling.
It's also the caterpillar.
Yeah. Down below. And it's just
for the death row ones.
It's victory roar. Yeah. So you're not getting. These are fucked. It's great.
Absolutely insane.
I'm glad these exist, though. I am glad that these exist. Yeah, horror. These belong in horror, definitely. So she needs the tank, blah, blah, blah. Last one alive. That's a shame. At least got the centipede up the ass. The centipede finally dies as the power surges. Martin is heard driving away. All right. Almost there at the end. Martin is at work finishing off the human centipede for 5,472nd time. He touches his lips. Baby crying is heard. Let me just do that again because I touched the mic there. Now, Martin is at work finishing off the human centipede. He touches his lips. Baby crying is heard. Then we get the external shot of office, like at the beginning of the film. The camera has been moved noticeably closer. Martin leans in and looks at the security monitor. Credits, bells and baby crying act as the final musical theme. And that's the end. That's the finish. That's Human Centipede 2, Tom 6. Yeah. You go. What do you reckon? Please.
I mean, what I said at the beginning is about it in terms of my thoughts. Like, tonally, it's very, very different to the original. And I personally prefer the first one.
So do I.
But this one is still, but this one is still good because of, like, the content in it is so, full on. And it's done well. It's not done in a way that's just, here's just a bunch of, like, shocking, violent stuff purely for the sake of it, and there's no storyline to go along with it, kind of thing. It actually does have a storyline. You have the main character being, like, a very interesting character, and the way it all plays out and all that. And then also it's really violent and disgusting.
So what do you rate it then?
3 out of 5. I rated it that when I first watched it, and still rating it the same.
Yeah. Now, there's too much work being put into it too long in the 2 zone. I do agree. What did you give part 1?
3.5.
You remember? 3.5. Yeah, that is the better one. What would you
And then
give part
three,
three? Yeah,
yeah, three, I gave it 2 stars out of
two.
5. Mm.
I would give it 2.5 because I have kind of
Yeah,
a sick, demented sense of humor, and
yeah.
I was laughing quite a bit out
Yeah. Yeah,
loud.
I mean, I was laughing at certain things. It's just that a lot of it just went, it kind of like took whatever that joke it was that it was trying to do, and it kind of just overstayed its welcome
Yeah,
in a way
yeah.
that's like, okay, yeah, we get it. We can move on from that now. Like, I don't care about this thing that you're trying to do right now. So,
hmm hmm Yeah, no, absolutely. Because if there was part four, it would be go fuck yourself. No, enough is enough.
oh yeah,
Because you would
yeah,
just
yeah.
it would just have to be entirely offensive, but at that stage, I mean, what else could you do? You've
Mm.
exhausted all options, all
Yeah,
angles.
yeah,
Yeah, yes, yeah. So I
yeah.
get you. I get you. Yeah, yeah. Um, I
Mm,
like that this film exists. I'm very happy that it exists, and I do like it. I do think it's quite artful,
mm,
quite creative, and it's
yeah.
very methodical in the way that it's, yeah, thought out because it uses actual mise en scene to convey what's going on for
Mm,
the characters rather than the character
yeah.
does this, then that. You know what I mean? There's the framework, there's the commentary by Tom Six. Um, of
Mm,
like, fuck you, you're not going to tell me what to do. Yes, stupid fans, here you go.
yeah.
Which I also like. Why not? Because, we need provocateurs in cinema, certainly in horror as well. We need it to be controversial because we can't have it
Mm,
sanitized or saccharine, you know what I mean? So every so often we need someone who takes it that little bit extra. Yeah, to make yeah, a little bit extra so we can keep going, so we don't have
mm,
PG, Blumhouse movies. Sorry.
yeah.
Uh, you get me. So and I think Tom Six is good at doing it. I think he's not great at handling the emotional stuff, but at least he's unique with handling it.
Mm,
I could get why people would be pissed off with him for
yeah.
it. That's fair. If you don't like these
Yeah.
films, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
you. But
exactly. Yeah.
to say they're not well made, I do argue that. To
Mm,
say they're abhorrent, then they're not for you. Yeah, they're not for
yeah.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm kind of depraved, and I do like this. Yes, so I'm going. Oh, I am also going to give it a 3 out of 5. It's not a
Mm,
4. Let's not lose our goddamn
yeah.
minds. But it is a 3 out of 5. It is a three out of
Yeah.
three, three. Sorry, because the first one's 3 out of 5. I entirely agree. But I do give the third one 2.5 because I just enjoy the
Yeah.
yeah. Let's go out with a bang.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Um, so that's that. That's the Human Centipede. What's next, Dorian? Bring it. Let's
I
bring
don't
it
know.
up.
We haven't
I will
decided
bring it up.
on
Yeah,
exactly which one would be next.
I will bring it up now on the Facebook. Mhm, mhm. Okay. Mhm. Yeah, no, we haven't. We haven't really, yeah, looked at where to angle off. Dodo, Cannibal. Yeah, Human Centipede. We've done Human Centipede too. There's Salo and Cannibal. Centipede, cannibal, eating. So they're all eating now. Yeah, they are. Yeah. Um, I don't want to do fucking Cannibal Holocaust after Centipede though, you know what I mean? It's just a bit too
Yeah.
gross mouth shit, if that makes sense. But then there's there is the shit though, but at least it's a little kind of, yeah. Um, and I do about, yeah. Ugh. We'll be able to find Sailor online, won't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's how I watched it
You
when
just
I
watched it
watched it.
online? Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anything else jump out to you? Because my idea is just to get the iconic ones of this tier out the way
Mm.
first,
Yeah.
since we've
Yeah.
done Centipede 2.
Um, yeah. Um, hmm,
Uh,
I don't know. I think maybe either martyrs or pink flamingos. Just because
For
like
what?
martyrs,
Yeah. Mm.
yeah, yeah, because martyrs, like I fucking love that movie and that will be like nice and a little bit refreshing, even though
Cool,
like
yeah.
it's it's horrific. But then Pink Flamingos is amazing and camp and fantastic. And then also there's some stuff in it there's some stuff in it. So
Oh,
in
yeah.
terms of a tone shift, but it's still staying on theme for in terms of eating poop because
All right then.
Divine eats dog shit at the end. So
All right then, for our children then, let's treat them with a little tone shift of letting not so miserable, letting them be not so miserable
yeah.
with pink flamingos rather than martyrs.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
compromise? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
All right.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay, we're doing pink flamingos.
Pink
Fantastic. I've never seen it. I've never
flamingos.
seen it.
Hell yeah.
I've heard about it. I know who
Um,
Divine is. I know about
yeah.
the
Yeah.
shit yet again. And yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool. I look forward to that. Okay, cool. So Psycho 2 came out just before. And Saw is just before this one, and Saw is on its way. Yeah. And okay, we're on the third tier. Fantastic. You seen Psycho 2? Have I asked you that?
No.
You haven't
I've
seen
only
Psycho
seen the
2?
original and then
Okay.
because the yeah, no. Yeah, I've seen the original and then because they make such a joke of it all the time on the Dead Meat podcast, I've seen the remake.
There, yeah. Yeah. Check out Psycho 2. Check out
Only
Psycho.
because they're constantly making jokes about it.
Mhm. Fair, fair. Okay, I'm not going to keep you any longer. It's late already. I've got work in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see you on Saturday, Doran. Evil Popcorn Pod, come to Evil
Yes.
Corp. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you for Pink Flamingos. All right, Mrs. Popcorn, here with Dorian. Thank you, Dorian, as always. Keep it a bloody peace. Whoa.